Alright, so Babe and I just got back from seeing this. We saw this up at Universal City Walks AMC, which is a pretty good IMAX theater, best in the city. And at this theater, they had some of the costumes on display. So we got some pictures with them. And after seeing this movie, I consider that to be pretty lucky. Sinners. So Sinners is the 5th movie directed by Ryan Coogler. He directed the Black Panther movies and the first Creed. Needless to say, he's got a pretty good track record, at least with me. And I am not alone having that opinion. Sinners takes place in 1932 down in Mississippi, and it focuses on a few characters. At the forefront, we have twin brothers, both played by Michael B. Jordan, Smoke and Stack, the Smokestack twins. They're working on establishing a juke joint, a blues nightclub, but not everything is going according to their plan, and things especially turn for the worse when vampires show up to play. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a vampire horror drama that's a period piece, brought to us by Ryan Coogler. So what do you get when you get the director of Black Panther and Creed doing a vampire horror drama? The answer? Peak! This movie is amazing. So let's touch on some characters here. Michael B. Jordan continues to prove himself one of the best actors in the business today, and still one of my all-time favorites. This movie has officially pushed him into S tier for me. And I guess dual roles is kind of becoming a trend in movies these days. Sonic 3, Mickey 17, now Sinners. MBJ is great as both Smoke and Stack, because they're smooth talkers. They do have different, sometimes conflicting ideologies, but when these two characters are playing off each other, it's just straight fire. These two brothers are just silver-tongued devils who know how to get what they want. And when either one is talking on screen, your eyes are just glued. Like, he's one of those actors that just demands your full attention at all times. He's magnetic, you can't look away. Another really relevant character is young Sam, played by Miles Caton. He's a musician, he's a guitarist, who is Smoke and Stack's younger cousin, so he gets a gig playing at their new club, but man, he is so sympathetic. He's easy to watch and relate to. Plus, he's got some musical talent, some singing chops on this guy. Pretty sure his singing scenes were live. Yeah, no lip syncing to pre-recorded audio here. There's a scene where he's singing and playing guitar in this club. It's one of the best scenes in the movie. I'm not gonna spoil why, but yeah, oh my god. Miles Caton's a real up-and-comer. Be on the lookout for him in movies to come, cause it's happening. Haley Steinfeld's also in the movie. Her character's name is Mary. She's Stack's ex-lover who comes back into the fold. I mean, her character's relevant enough, especially given the fact that she's, well, white. Her dialogue opposite Michael B. Jordan, again, it's just fantastic. I'll touch on the dialogue a little later, but yeah, just saying. Umni Mosaku is great. She plays Annie, who is Smoke's lover, and she's probably the VIP of the whole movie. Again, real up-and-coming name with this actress. I mean, I know she's been in a few things by now. I first saw her in the Loki series, but now it's come to the point where I recognize her face and her name, so I'll be like, oh, Umni Mosaku's in a movie. That's cool. It'll probably be good, because she's an awesome actress, and her character is great in this movie. Also gotta give props to the main douchebag vampire. His name is Bert, played by Peter Dreymanis. There's something about his presence that was like the right amount of creepy. I don't want to give too much away, but he was more than just a baseline villain. In fact, calling him a villain kind of undercuts what I'm trying to say here, because this isn't like a superhero movie or anything like that. He's the main antagonist, I'll say that. Now, this movie is all about the build-up and the atmosphere and tone and the script. I mean, we're in 1932 in Mississippi, so this movie being a period piece, it has to feel immersive. This movie certainly does a really good job at doing that. The set design is right there, but if I got any advice when it comes to this movie in particular, yeah, see it not just in IMAX, but if you can, see it in one of those 70mm prints. Cause yeah, the aspect ratio, you know I'm about to talk about this. Cause you know I'm a fan of that shit. When it's starting out, it's in a really letterbox ratio, kinda like The Creator, but then when it blows out in IMAX, it's not your typical 190:1. Yeah, we're going true IMAX with this one, 143:1. That's what I'm talking about. The whole ass screen, baby. You wanna talk about immersive? That is the way to go. Like, why don't Marvel movies do that these days? They got the money for it. I don't know. Point is, last movie I saw with that aspect ratio was Joker Folie à Deux. I needed a palate cleanser for that, and I couldn't have asked for a better one than Sinners. Big facts. It does such a great job at putting you right in the time period for 2 hours and 17 minutes, which is gonna bring us right to the script. Again, not only did Ryan Coogler direct this movie, but he wrote it as well. And the script for this movie, it reminded me of a Quentin Tarantino script, in that it's realistic. There are a lot of F-bombs and a lot of N-bombs, so if you're sensitive to that, you might want to pass this one up. But again, the build-up to it. I wouldn't say this movie focuses on the vampires. The vampire thing is not the main focus of this movie. It's a huge part of it for sure, but really, that shit doesn't really hit the fan until at least halfway through this thing. Until that point though, the buildup of everything is superbly done. You're attaching yourself emotionally to the characters. You're learning their backstories. Sometimes their accents were a little difficult for me personally to understand. I probably sound like a douchebag saying that. It was only a couple times though. But the point is, with the brilliant writing that Michael B. Jordan is given, again, you're just glued to the movie. You're like, I'm not looking away anytime soon. And then later on, when the vampire shit hits the fan, this throws back to old school vampires, man. This is probably among, if not, the best vampire movie I've ever seen in my life. Period. If it's not the best, it is up there, man. Because he got all the classic vampire rules in place. They can't come inside unless you invite them in, which plays a big part in this movie. They can only die via sunlight or a wooden stake through the heart, and if they bite you, you turn into one. There is this neat effect that the vampires have with their eyes, in that they kind of glow. Neat thing is, the main one, Bert, his eyes glow red, while the other ones, they all glow like a silvery white. I just thought that was interesting. There's a lot of really good symbolism in this movie as well. The art direction in Sinners in particular is fantastic. You get the feeling that Ryan Coogler really did his homework when it came to this movie. And when it gets intense, it gets really intense. Because when some of these characters do turn, they still have emotional attachments to some characters that have not turned yet. So what do you do then? Great stuff, man. Great drama, great writing. This movie's also pretty violent at times. It gets pretty gory, which I will say sometimes the blood looked a little fake, at least to me. But at least it wasn't violent for the sake of being violent, you know? It was violence with a purpose. But it was always practical. None of it looked CG. And also when it came to the makeup and prosthetics. When someone's face was all messed up, the prosthetics, they looked awesome. And also with the horror aspect, there are a couple of jump scares in this movie. One of them really got me. Came out of nowhere. I was like, oh. Babe laughed at me. It was funny. To cap this review off, let's talk about some music. Because the music in this movie, of course it's Ryan Coogler, so Ludwig Göransson did the score, because they were roommates in college after all. This score has a lot of that guitar twang. Again, just another layer of immersion to this movie. A lot of dissonance, there's strings, there's some vocal effects, there's some synthesizer in there, which sounds like it might not fit in, but it does, thematically anyway. I can't say how because I don't want to ruin it, but just trust me on that, and you'll learn when you see the movie like you should. And on top of the score, there are some, I call them needle drops, the soundtrack. When characters are singing the blues. It's great stuff. Again, Miles Caton's got a great singing voice. And Jamie Lawson as Perlene, there's a point where she sings, she's great too. Her voice is a little on the deeper side. It's awesome. My favorite song on this soundtrack is probably a spoiler, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's one that the vampires sing. It's a great scene. I was tapping my foot. Again, you'll know it when you see it like you should. So in the end, if you couldn't tell already, in my opinion, Sinners is the best movie of the year so far. By a long shot. The acting is phenomenal. The script is phenomenal. The symbolism, the art direction, the set design, the music, phenomenal. Everything about this movie is aces. I cannot recommend it enough. I can't sing its praises enough. Ryan Coogler is officially one of my favorite directors working today. In other words, for Sinners, I will say, go see this movie right now. And there is a post-credit scene, so stick around for that. Yeah, there's a mid-credit scene as well, but after all the credits, there is another scene. Definitely stick around for that because it's great. So, Sinners, have you seen it yet? What are your thoughts on it? And what's your favorite movie directed by Ryan Coogler so far? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Peace!